One of the reactions that we don't much think about as an addiction is worry. A persistent worry that leads to anxiety, that then leads to fear, and for some, extreme stress and even depression. In this segment of Level Up with Lily, I'm going to share an age-old wisdom that will help us to deal with our everyday worry and anxiety. My name is Lilian Githuka, and in Level Up with Lily, we have conversations that help us to practice proactive behaviors that enable us to have the best experience in our careers and our life. So what is this age-old wisdom? The Serenity Prayer was written by an American theologian called Reinhold Niebuhr, somewhere between 1933 and 1934. This prayer was popularized by Alcoholics Anonymous, who adopted it into their 12-step program. Now, when we encounter difficulties in our lives, our most likely reaction to them is resistance. And what resistance really says to us in our minds is, this shouldn't be happening to me at all. And when we resist something, the natural reaction to any form of resistance is pain. But what does the Serenity Prayer actually say that could help us take a different form of action? Let me read it for you. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as a pathway to peace, taking as He did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that He will make all things right if I surrender to His will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with Him forever in the next. God grant me the serenity, the calm, the peace, the tranquil, to accept the things I cannot change. The opposite of acceptance is the resistance that I talked about. And when we resist our difficult circumstances of any kind, we then seek to take control. We try to control the circumstance itself. We try to control those that we relate with, our spouses, our siblings, our friends, and even our parents. And when we don't get the outcome we are looking for, when our control does not either get someone else to do what we want them to do, or the circumstance to change, or the pain to reduce, we then reach out for an action or substance of control. So that could be alcohol for some. For others, it's drugs. For others, it's careless relationships perhaps, and practices that could be destructive to them. Others could withdraw and not relate in a normal way on a daily basis with others. And there are other forms of reactions to seeking control. One of the reactions that we don't much think about as an addiction is worry. A persistent worry that leads to anxiety, that then leads to fear, and for some, extreme stress and even depression. But if we could find the courage to accept the things that we cannot change, the resistance will then be less. The friction will be less. And when friction is less, the pain then is also less. So yes, we will encounter the pain in our difficult circumstance, but we can allow it to flow through us. We can become an observer of that pain as opposed to an actor within the pain. However, of course, if we do need to be doing something about the circumstance, we then seek the courage, as the Serenity Prayer says to us, to take the action. But most important is the wisdom to know the difference between when we should accept that we cannot change our circumstance or that we cannot change an individual, and to then accept the peace that comes with acceptance. Accept the calm and the tranquil that comes with acceptance. Now, when we do that, we will sometimes doubt ourselves, and others will also doubt and even claim that we are probably in denial of our situation. Because common practice is not to go for peace. Common practice is to worry and to try to do anything and everything possible to remove the difficulty in our lives. But believe me when I say that acceptance will grant us a peace that will also offer us the room for clarity and perspective in order to receive the wisdom for the action that we need to be taking, if any. So let me invite you to the words of the Serenity Prayer again, and mainly the part that we know of. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. As you embrace your peace, if you liked this reflection, please subscribe to our channel and wait for the notification bell for the next segment of Level Up with Lily.